marketing strategies, and the role of media in promoting Caribbean music. Be part of this historic series this Friday on DBS Radio from 7 p.m. Machisa!
Let's get ready for the finals of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson headline sponsored by Dragon Windows National Reading Competition. Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. The St. Alphonsus Parish Hall, 2:30 p.m. The top 10 finalists battling for the position of top reader are Amelia Roll from the Benz Primary, Kelly Paris from the Lighthouse Christian Academy, Kira David from the Ebenezer SDA, Malik Smith from the Piddit Savan Primary, Enes John Baptist from St. Luke's Primary, Kiara John from the Cynical Primary, Amelia Devon from the Roosevelt Douglas Primary, Sunny Laville from the Pioneer Preparatory, Emily Prevo from the Sons of Ed Primary, and Shahid Walsh from the Birian Christian Academy. It's the finals of the 2025 DBS Radio Felix Henderson headline sponsored by Dragon Windows National Reading Competition. Wednesday, May 14th, 2025, St. Alphonsus Parish Hall, 2:30 p.m.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
What a very special good evening. My name is Curtis Matthew. The speculation is over. A new pope elected. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says he is reacting to the election of Pope Leo the 14th and the first ever American pope. Well, we'll bring you the details of the evening news right after this.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued, like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
Welcome back to the DBS Evening News. My name is Curtis Matthew. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has congratulated His Holiness Pope Leo the 14th on his election as the 267th Pontiff of the Roman Catholic Church. In a statement today, Mr. Skerrit said he was extending heartfelt congratulations to the new pontiff, the first American pope, on behalf of the government and people of Commonwealth of Dominica and as a son of the Catholic faith. Mr. Skerrit says the ascension of the new pope comes at a pivotal moment in the world when nations grapple with conflict, inequality, and the urgent need for peace, compassion, and unity. The Dominican leader adds that His Holiness Pope Leo the 14th leadership is a profound symbol of renewal and hope, reminding that faith constantly invites us to rebuild, reconcile, and recommit to the service of others. Mr. Skerrit notes that the people of Dominica look forward to the new Pope's guidance as a shepherd of moral clarity, justice, and mercy, and pray that his pontificate will inspire hearts across continents to seek common ground, care for creation, and build a future anchored in love. Other news this evening, the Dominica police say they are committed to going after those responsible for a shooting incident which occurred in Roseau on April 27. One man died as a result of the shooting near Washington Block on Old Street in Roseau, while another man is nursing injuries at the hospital.
Kimon Emmanuel, alias Beaver, male adult, 32 years old, and Shian Sabroch, male, 35 years old, both of Goodwill, were shot at while the two of them were standing on Old Street in the vicinity of Washington Block. They both received multiple gunshot injuries. Emmanuel succumbed to his injuries shortly thereafter, while Sheehan Sabroch sustained life-threatening injuries and remains a patient at the hospital. Investigations have been carried out into the shooting, and one, Jaron Sibasset alias Skibo of Belfast, Maho, has since been charged with the murder of Kimon Emmanuel, attempted murder of Sheehan Sabroch, conspiracy to commit murder of Sheehan Sabroch, and conspiracy to commit murder of Kimon Emmanuel. During the course of the investigations, 6 individuals were arrested, questioned, and have been released. We continue to investigate this matter vigorously and will spare no effort in ensuring that all perpetrators in this matter are brought to justice. The use of firearms in the commission of crimes is very concerning to law enforcement. A zero-tolerance approach will be adopted in tackling issues of crime and violence in Dominica. We will intensify certain aspects of our crime prevention unit or plan, and no effort will be spared in the fight against crime and reducing the fray of crime in Dominica.
And that's the acting police chief, Lincoln Corbett. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says a meeting between OECS leaders and U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio in the U.S. this week was cordial and rewarding. Mr. Skerrit says the meeting discussed several important issues which will strengthen cooperation between the U.S. and the region.
Well, first of all, I think my overall impression of the meeting was that it was one that was very positive, extremely positive, if I may say. I believe that the Secretary of State is a very pragmatic person, and we were able to discuss a number of important issues relating to the relationship between ourselves and the United States. Of course, security was high on the agenda. Both sides recognized the importance of us continuing to work together to fight in criminal elements within the hemisphere, and to enhance our abilities to proper secure our hemisphere. And so there's a continued commitment on the part of the United States government to help us and to work with us on the issue of security. Of course, the issue of the illegal immigration was spoken about. And of course, we're not at variance in the United States in respect to their immigration policies. Clearly, the immigration policies which are being implemented by the United States government is no different to that of every country in the world. And we have committed to working with them with an effort towards reducing, if not eliminating, illegal migration within our hemisphere. But we also urge the Secretary of State, and of course by extension the U.S. government, to ensure that they continue to facilitate legal migration by the provision of visas to students, to visitors, the various work programs. And of course, we believe that this will continue.
Mr. Skerrit says the issue surrounding the Cuban Medical Brigade was discussed at the meeting.
And of course, we raised the issue of Cuba and the Cuban Medical Brigade and the health program. We explained to him how this is operating within our countries, and I believe he understands that. So I do not see any threat to the Cuban medical program, which we all have within our countries. We have these programs. They are based on international standards. The human rights of every person who is participating in this program is protected. They work under best international practices, the International Labour Organization standards. They've been paid their salaries and their wages like everyone else. And so we're able to explain those things to Secretary of State. And of course, the issue of continued partnership with the United States on other areas of investments and a greater presence of the United States within the region, and the repositioning of resources support, and all of those things were discussed with Secretary of State. But I think it's a very, very constructive engagement. I think we should expect greater collaboration between the United States and the Caribbean. Listening to the Secretary of State and his approach to things. He's a politician like all of us, and he understands the political considerations in each country that every government has to deal with. So I I think every one of us left the meeting on a very, very positive note.
And that's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. The Dominica Red Cross Society has welcomed 60 new volunteers into its newest branch located in the Kalinago territory. The enrollment coincides with the observance of Red Cross Day, which is being celebrated today. Here is the president of the Dominica Red Cross, Reginald Winston.
Every day around the world, Red Cross and Red Crescent teams are working in environments with many challenges. And most dangerously, the rules to protect civilians are very often ignored. From armed conflicts to disasters and health emergencies, the challenges are immense, which makes our principled humanitarian action so important. In a divided world, our movement unites people in the name of humanity, and even in the most challenging conditions, we continuously proceed. Despite the many risks, we continue to be readily available, offering care, support, and love. In Dominica, we are honored to be enrolling 60 new volunteers in our newest branch in the Kalinago territory. Today, May 8th, 2025, Red Cross Day, and to continue our own national society's outreach to serving all in need throughout our beloved country.
And that's the president of the Dominica Red Cross Society, Reginald Winston. Parliamentary representative for the Cottage constituency, Roland Roye, has endorsed the 2025 Poker Run event. The third annual Poker Run, which has been organized by the Almond Deck in Tukari, was officially launched this morning at the State House Conference Center. This year's Poker Run will be held on August 24 from Marboyd's Bar to Tukari.
The poker round is more than just a fun day out at the water. It presents a bold and dynamic addition to Dominica's tourism product, offering visitors a unique experience that showcases the natural beauty of our coastline, our vibrant marine culture, and our people's hospitality. The fact that it consistently attracts participants from across the region, it is a testament to its growing appeal and its ability to serve as a catalyst for regional tourism. Importantly, the culmination of the poker run at Tukari Bay, right in the heart of the Cottage constituency, is both symbolic and significant. It reflects the potential of rural communities to host world-class events and benefit from increased visibility, economic activity, and cultural exchange.
And that's the parliamentary representative for the Cottage constituency, Roland Roye. Meanwhile, event organizer Reginald Austri says more regional groups have already expressed interest in being part of Poker Run 2025.
Poker Run has a wide reach. In fact, last year we had participants from Martinique, we had participants from Guadeloupe, St. Lucia, and this year we have received interest from the groups in Totola. So Poker Run seems to be taking on a regional dimension. Also, the French are very, very strong in their marine activities. And in fact, this year we'll be mounting missions to physically go because we left it up to them to come. They invited themselves. And this year we intend to make the effort to go to them. In fact, we have already been reaching out to them, and we'll be mounting a mission, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 of us. We'll go to the various departments and to push the message of Poker Run and to get them to come down to participate in the event. And we believe if the plans we have for Poker Run moving forward, this can add significantly to not only people coming into Dominica, but people who will stay over. Because right now Poker Run is one day. And I will tell you there's some serious consideration for making it a 2-day event where people will come and they will stay over and we will see the spill off within the communities.
Event organizer for the Poker Run, Reginald Austri. The Executive Director of the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, the NTRC, Dominica, Craig Nesty, is optimistic that the NTRC Tech Expo could evolve into a regional hub for innovation. His comments were made during the opening ceremony of the two-day NTRC Tech Expo, which began this morning at the Goodwill Parish Hall.
We also recognize that to grow Tech Expo into a regional beacon of innovation will need more than just enthusiasm. While direct funding from the ministry may be a stretch given their own challenges, we hope to see continued encouragement, time carved out in the curriculum, and stronger institutional support. We look forward to walking this journey with the ministry every step of the way. I must also offer my heartfelt gratitude to the private sector partners. Your support, whether through resources, mentorship, or prizes, has been nothing short of inspiring. You are helping to create a culture of innovation in Dominica. A special thank you as well to our international partners like Purpose Partners and Google. Purpose Partners has even expressed interest in offering long-term scholarships, and that's a conversation we are committed to advancing.
And that's the Executive Director of the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, the NTRC, Dominica, Craig Nesty. The news continues right after this.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued. Like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
In news from the region this evening, Jamaica's Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has defended the Jamaica Teaching Council, the JTC bill, saying the legislation was not an attempt to control teachers. Holness said, while educators have often been celebrated in Jamaica, they have not always been given the structural support needed to thrive. He added, that is why the government is pursuing the Jamaica Teaching Council legislation. The bill, passed by the Senate on April 25, formally establishes teaching as a regulated profession in Jamaica, creating a statutory body responsible for maintaining a register of teachers, defining their roles, and overseeing professional conduct. The Jamaica Teaching Council legislation is now scheduled for debate in the House of Representatives. Finally, this evening, U.S. President Donald Trump has called the election of the first American Pope, Robert Francis Prevost, who will be known as Pope Leo XIV, a great honor for the country, and said he looks forward to meeting the new Pope. Trump is among the many American political figures applauding the historic appointment of the 69-year-old native from Chicago to lead the Catholic Church. Trump said to have the Pope from America is a great honor. Pope Leo attended university outside Philadelphia before becoming a missionary in Peru. It is 19 minutes after 6 o'clock. That's news. The sports report comes up shortly.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
Let's begin the DBS Evening Sports Report with cricket news. Cricket West Indies CWI says it is closely monitoring the escalating situation between India and Pakistan following recent military actions in the region. In a statement today, Cricket West Indies revealed it is in active communication with the Board of Control for Cricket in India, the Pakistan Cricket Board, and its players currently involved in the Indian Premier League and the Pakistan Super League. The statement adds that the West Indies Players Association have been engaged to coordinate and ensure the safety, security, and well-being of all West Indies players and support personnel in the region. Cricket West Indies states that the welfare of the Caribbean players remains of the highest priority and is continuing to receive regular updates through diplomatic, governmental, and cricketing channels and stands ready to offer assistance where necessary. Other sports this evening, the Dominica Senior Men's National Football Team is set to take on Barbados in 2 international friendlies starting tonight. The matches form part of Dominica's preparation for their 2 remaining matches in the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers in June. Dominica will play Barbados at 7 o'clock tonight at the DFA Technical Center in Stock Farm, and head coach of the senior men's national football team, Ellington Sabin, wants his players to grab the opportunity this evening.
Well, Dominican players are full of quality, so we select the quality players as normal to add to the quality that already exists, and we're just looking forward to seeing them in the game.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about the training sessions. You would have had them for a few weeks, a few months. Your thoughts, overall impressed as to how the guys are prepared for the 2 games?
But yeah, the guys progressed. I mean, when they started off slow because they were not playing, but as the league started and they started getting some minutes under the belt, they could see the improvement in the quality.
All right, what would you like to see from the team? I know obviously you'd like to see a win, but in terms of the brand of football, with the bigger picture for the World Cup qualifiers, what would you like to see?
Is that we possessing the ball and scoring the chances that we create. I mean, you're looking at the league, you can see a lot of the teams create a lot of chances, and the midfield we have selected is very strong, like what the rest of the team. So it's all about seeing them create the chances that their customer created and converting the chances against the opponents.
All right, I know a lot of work has been placed, a lot of emphasis has been placed on the physical preparation, but preparing the guys mentally, especially if so many of them making their debuts, what has that process been like?
Really, even this morning we had 2 reaction sessions. It's about the mental preparation for the games, because if you're not prepared mentally, then you can't execute physically. So we try and do a lot of mental preparation, a lot of reaction work in this phase just before the games to ensure that the guys are ready mentally for the job.
And it's a chance for a number of these young players to really step up and raise their hands, put their names in the pool for the World Cup qualifiers, and also to replace some of the veteran players who are on their way out. So what would be your direct word to the youngsters making their debuts?
Go out there and play good football. I mean, the young players play a lot of good football, they bring a lot of energy, so go out there with the energy and play the quality of football that their customer play. Bring out the quality, bring out their skill and their knowledge, and most of all, like you said, come out with the victory.
Head coach of the senior men's national football team, Ellington Sabin. That game is to be played at 7 o'clock this evening. It's Barbados against Dominica. DBS will be bringing the commentaries live from 7 o'clock. Let's bring you some cricket news. Action resumes this weekend in the 2025 Dominica Cricket Association National Cooperative Credit Union sponsored Premier Cricket League. 3 matches will be played over a 2-day period starting Saturday, the 10th of May. At the Windsor Park Stadium, KFC Summit Sports Club will be in action against Convenience Plus Heaters, while at the Benjamin Park, it will be Kalinago Blasters against Tremors. And in Granby, the Granby Credit Union Colts will be up against Nagico Northern Star Sports Club. On Saturday, the matches will begin at 1 o'clock, while on Sunday, action will begin at 9:30. Some basketball news now. A new champion will be crowned in the DABA's Elias Dupe Knockout Basketball Tournament as the defending champions. The Dr. Daru Pishless Sports Club Falcons got knocked out by the Peebush Eagles in the semi-finals last night at the Massac Indoor Facility. The Peebush Eagles took the match 81-70. Shama Felicity had 32 and Kalal Paul had 20 for the Eagles Ethan Boland had 13, while Zach Bastian had 27, Yawani Regis 21 for the Falcons. Eagles player Lennon Paul says his team played a tough game.
One of the key things that had us in that game was defense. We did a man-to-man in the second quarter, I believe, and that just took off for us and keep the intensity going, and that was good for us. That was it.
And also on the rebounding end, you guys clearly won that battle. So how much of an influence do you think that had on the game?
I was surprised we got the rebounding because we know Falcons is big and we're very small. So I want to commend my centers, Bolan, Dave. We worked hard down there, and then we got the job done.
All right, quick word on Shama Felicite because he had a big game. Also, Caleb Paul was very good as well. Smallest guy on the court, but always found a way to the basket.
That's our star players. I expect that from them every night. Every night.
And that's the Eagles player Lennon Paul. Falcons captain Yannick Regis says his team did not execute down the stretch.
So it is sometimes, Gavin. I think I have to commend the guys for coming out today. We were on the man, but we came out to play out of heart, out of energy, and I'm just proud of the guys for the effort they put forward.
Let's talk about the effort on the court, though. A lot of three-point shots there, especially in the first half, they were not falling.
I think we have to work on our inside play. We settled for a lot of frees, and they wasn't falling tonight. With all honesty, I think we really have to work on our inside game, our post game. We missed a lot of easy layouts, so that's something we have to work on moving forward in the league. Thankfully, we have this preseason game and to commend the ABA for putting on this tournament once again. It's one of the best tournaments we had preseason before the league opens, and it will help us to gauge also to see how we fall short.
And that's the Falcons captain, Yannick Regis. The Eagles will meet the 767 Sports Club Dominators in the finals Saturday. That's because the Dominators took down league champions, the Detroit Blazers, in the other semi-final encounter. The big man, Rene Williams, was too much to handle as he got 20 points. Fabian had 13 as the Dominators took the match 67-61. Linson Lynch had 28 points and Maxwell Birmingham 17 for the Blazers. The 767 Sports Club Dominators coach, Dunstan Maggie Peters.
Well, trust me, I feel a big relief like taking a monkey off your back because we couldn't pass the Blazers for a long time. So that shows a sign of progress, and trust me, the victory means a lot because that is the gauge is on. They're the champions, and they are in the top four. So when you beat a top four team, you have to feel good about it. And then the old man Lynch, boy, Mr. Terrible Fella, boy, look at miserable fella, boy, Lynch give me a heart attack. I drink more water than them players and them. Trust me.
Eagles on Saturday. What can you take from the showing tonight as you look forward to the Eagles on Saturday?
Boy, the Eagles and them, we watch them tonight there. They're really flying, but I trust with my squad, with them the size we have there, we have a size advantage. But we have to watch for Shama Felicite, the real Eagle. You know what I mean? We have to look out for him, we have to keep him at bay. If we can, do that, the rest, we can close it out.
And that's the 767 Sports Club Dominators coach, Dunstan Maggie Peters. Blazers captain, Lester Langley, said the team did not give Linson Lynch much support. Well, that's how we'll end. In fact, we may have time for just one more story. Let's go back to some cricket news. Shubman Gill has emerged as the front runner to replace Rohit Sharma as the full-time Test captain for India, starting with India's Test tour of England. Gill's ascension, it is understood, has become inevitable after it became apparent that Jasprit Bumrah, who was the vice captain of the Test team on India's Test tour of Australia, is likely to miss a few Test matches in the upcoming World Test Championship cycle for workload management. The squad is expected to be picked when the selection panel meets later this month. With that series kicking off the next World Test Championship cycle for India, it is understood that the selectors want a captain with a long-term view in mind, making Gill the preferred option. Gill has never led in Test matches or one-days, but has led the team in 5 T20 internationals, all on a tour of Zimbabwe in the mid-2024 when he was named captain of a side that missed several first-choice players following India's victory in the preceding T20 World Cup. The Windward Island Infernos picked up a big win over the Leeward Island Thunder, but it was not big enough to get them into the finals of the Cricket West Indies Emerging Players Tournament last night in Trinidad. The Infernals' victory left them on 28 points, just 3 points short of first place and an automatic spot in the finals. And the Windwards will have to play in the playoff match Friday. The Windwards batted first and they made 158 for 8 in their 20 overs. Joanne Jeremiah got 30, Ryan John 33 not out, Alec Athanaze 17. The Leewards reached 121 for 7. In reply, Avinash Maharab Singh took 2 for 18 and Dominica's Kyron Phillip 1 for 12. The Windwards won by 37 runs. They will now meet the Leeward Islands again Friday in the playoffs. The winner will face Trinidad in the finals on Saturday. That too is our final story, and we ask you to join us this evening at 7 o'clock to bring you coverage of the friendly international between Barbados and Dominica. That match is at 7 o'clock, and of course tomorrow morning at 7 we will bring you another news and sportscast here on DBS Radio. Curtis Matthew saying good night. You want to continue to remain with DBS until about, 11 o'clock tonight, Joseph Fadul?
24 hours.
Right, so we're going to be on until we will be around. You don't want to miss coverage of the big football match, Dominica and Barbados, tonight at 7 o'clock. Joseph Fadul, thank you very much.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282